any racism or discrimination? And if you have, how did it present itself? What did it look like?
Well, I have. That's the bottom. That's the thing. But the thing is, there are different levels of. There is a subtle racism. There is the obvious racism, and there is the overt and really the really seriously bad racism. But there are different levels. The worst one of it is the subtle one, where the one that actually people smile to your face and talk to you and everything, but actually you know perfectly they are thinking other things.
Yeah.
The overt one, the open one, at least you can deal with because actually it's there. You can either shut it down or ignore it or just move on. But yes, it does exist, and I have had that kind of things. But you know, when you live in different countries, from when you're young, you learn to deal with them, and just you just sometimes you ignore them, sometimes you just rise above them. But the things exist.
How does it make you feel?
Well, the first, when it happened, and actually it happened also in France, when I was in France, the early days, it was big, it was a massive thing, it was like shock to the system. And you say, why? Because you start answering, well, why? What's the difference? Why am I different? You start looking at yourself, you start almost saying, you have done something wrong, you are the one who is not. But then again, you start, when you keep meeting the same kind of comments, same kind of things again, you become numb to it. You just say, okay, fair enough. You know, if you think I'm not gonna take that's my thoughts away from you.
Yeah.
Think what you want, and that's it. So you choose your own path afterwards.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to ask you, do you feel the media helps people understand the challenges that minorities face, or do you think the media make it worse?
Well, depends what media we're talking about here, because if it's a right-wing media, then then again, sometimes you just make things worse. The media definitely plays a big role. Some media plays a positive role, some media plays a negative role, just like anything else. And unfortunately, sometimes people choose the media because it feeds on their starvation of kind of those thoughts. They feed from it, and that becomes a whirlwind of bad news on everybody. So the media can be either, you know, the start an issue or to eliminate an issue. So depends what's media.
Okay, so there's good and bad in both.
There's good and bad. There's a good and bad media, and you only hear on the media, for example, on television. If you take the television as an example, you only hear of the obvious and highlighted. If there's any celebrities or something issues, you don't hear for everyday life of the normal people. And where that is, people think, well, you know, they have got support, they have got this, they have got that. But actually, that's not with the newspapers, for example, where you have things like, you know, the right-wing media, where there are everyday thing, and you can see, people can know you from the paper you read. Actually, these days, you can get papers, because you used to get papers again. No paper these days.
Yeah, it's all online now, isn't it?
Yes.